With training footage of Sasha Banks coming out and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Talking about a return of pro wrestling after giving birth, Candice LeRae told the Ringside podcast, "The women who have done this before gave me the little bit of courage to come back. I didn't know if this was something that was going to be possible. Becky Lynch kind of set a bar really high for us moms coming back because she came back better than ever. Her doing that had me stop and go, wow, this is really possible. It's doable and possible. She did it and look at her. She came back better than ever. We can do this. It's really awesome. Timing is everything, and the timing has been absolutely perfect." Touching on his promo on Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, Chris Jericho revealed on ESPN the thing with Lamar Jackson, which is great, like, I didn't know football, but I don't live in Baltimore, so I'm not really familiar with the Ravens, and Lamar was there earlier and asked to take a picture with me. He's a big fan of wrestling, a big fan of Chris Jericho, so when I saw him in the crowd, I was like, this is great. We're friends now, we took a picture together. I can say this and he'll get a little laugh out of it, but no one else here knows that we just spent 10 minutes prior. They think, oh, Jericho's gonna call out Lamar Jackson. And what it does is gets tons of mainstream publicity for AEW, tons of mainstream publicity for Lamar Jackson. Everybody wins. Recalling his feud against John Cena, AJ Styles praised the C Nation leader for his wrestling skills, telling the halftime show, "I've had a lot of tough opponents throughout my career. I will say the guy that surprised me with how good he was in the ring would be John Cena. John is not known for being a technical mastermind in the ring, but he's pretty good. I had some of my better matches against this guy. I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. There's a little bit of everything. I had no idea. That's one of those things where I had a lot to learn. Some guys may not look the part, but they definitely, his mind for how everything needs to work and transition wise, he's just good. He knows what he's doing. It's one of those things where you thought, I'm the superior wrestler in the ring. But once you get in there with John Cena, you realize, well, okay, I didn't know that. Let's keep going. He's pretty good." Speaking about his previous run in AEW, Lio Rush took a shot at the company on the Say Less podcast. Of course not. When I say things, I don't want to sound like it was breaking news because I feel like these things are so blatantly obvious. It's like, he made it pretty clear to me verbally that when he was a fan of me, it was when I was in WWE and I was doing the manager stuff with Bobby Lashley. If that's how he saw me, that's the only light he sees me in, then that's probably what he's going to shift me to be in that kind of role, which I'm not. I'm so grateful for that time period in WWE because it taught me how to talk. It taught me how to present myself and build others up. No, I don't think they exactly knew what to do with me. That's always a frustrating thing, but like you said, when I say stuff, it just gets blown up. Talking about getting back in the ring with just Alex, Kristal Marshall said, all the time, especially a lot more lately. People message me all the time like, oh girl, you look good. You should get back in the ring. And I'm like, yeah, I should get back in the ring. When asked about a potential Royal Rumble comeback, she added, oh, absolutely. I've been waiting on this call. I've been waiting for this call for the past few years. I'm in the best shape of my life. I would love to have one more chance to walk down that runway and hear the fans pop. Like, there's nothing better than that. Yeah, Triple H, call me. Call your girl. Make it happen. With him suffering a ruptured intestine during the AAA show center, Laredo Kid addressed his recovery with LMT Online. As I ended my fight with Vikingo, I had to be transported to San Vicente Hospital immediately and had to receive emergency surgery. As one of my intestines had become ruptured during the fight, it has been the toughest battle I've ever fought in my career and life. After being hospitalized for 9 days and fighting for my life, I want to tell everybody that I am back. I am back at my house with my family and my children, and it is thanks to all of you and all of my Laredo fanaticos that I am better, because you all sent your well wishes, vibes, and prayers. I really want to thank you all for always wanting to stay updated about my condition, and especially want to thank my company Lucha Libre AAA that was always looking as to how I was doing. Touching on his AEW debut, Brock Anderson revealed the advice he received from Cody Rhodes that calmed him down, telling the family business with Kerry Morton, "Two things saved me that night. This was COVID-era AEW, so we're in Jacksonville. This was the taped show, so we only had the extra wrestlers there just to provide crowd noise. If I would have started, say, today, this would have been my first match in front of a full house. I'd have been yakking my brains out backstage with nerves." The second thing was having Cody as a partner. He is arguably the hottest wrestler in the business until, unfortunately, his pec, and he's deserved the spot he's in right now. Speaking about putting on another all-women's event for the NWA, owner of the promotion Billy Corgan told the 10 Count, "I'm really intrigued by the interest in Empower. We continue to want to do it. We continue to have discussions with other companies about working together to create a fresh Empower event. When you create a world-class event like Empower, and it was a world-class event, we've set a very high standard of what you should expect. Of course, there are plenty of great professional women's wrestlers in the world. Can they wrestle the NWA style? Can they carry a 3-hour pay-per-view? Can they move the pace of women's wrestling, not just in wrestling, but in terms of international media forward? These are my concerns. Everyone has their own version of it. That's my version of it, and that's why I'm still on it. Until we can provide a world-class event with some of the best female pro wrestlers in the world, then we won't do it." Apparently, these comments upset the NWA women's roster, as Fightful reported that. "We have heard from several women who have regularly appeared in NWA who also felt disrespected by Corgan and Trevor Murdoch's claims that there wasn't enough depth or enough women that could work the NWA style to do a second Empower show. Nick Aldis was scheduled to compete for the NWA World's Championship at NWA 74, but was replaced with Tyrus. We're told Aldis will have some media appearances this week to address the matter. We've asked members of the NWA locker room if the situation is a work, who each said they weren't sure either way." With rumors of WWE being interested in her returning, Chelsea Green said this to WrestleZone about signing an exclusive deal with a promotion. "I think that I wouldn't go to AEW, and that's just a reality for me. It's not going to happen. With WWE, I'm really glad that I left on good terms, although I was sad that I didn't get to fulfill myself creatively as a wrestler. I still had a great relationship with Triple H. I had a great relationship with Vince, so I'm really happy that I'm able to hold my head up high, knowing there's an opportunity for me to possibly go back if they decide it's the time and the place. But this time would be different because I went into it the first time and I was just so doe-eyed and naive and just thought that I deserved to be listened to and deserved to be heard. Now I realize it's not always like that, and it's not always wrestling. It's just show business. Acting is the same way. You're not going to get everything that you deserve or everything that you work for, and all you can do is just go in with a totally open mind and just let things happen. So if I did get the chance to go back, and if someone contacted me, I would absolutely have that conversation. I have unfinished business at WWE, period, but I would go into it totally different than I did the last time, and I think that's also the beauty of growing up. I have other goals in life now, and at some point I want to start a family. It would be nice to close the WWE chapter with another good run or another storyline, but that's not my choice, that's theirs. On Keeping It 100, Conan touched on his conversations with Colt Cabana as he said, "When I saw Colt Cabana backstage, I remember asking him, 'So what's up with you now that Punk is back?' He was like, 'Yeah man, we're not really talking.' I go, 'Come on dude, after all of these years, you guys were boys.' He said, 'Yeah man, he just won't talk to me.' He would kind of look around like he knew he would get fired. Now when I look back, he knew that he was probably going to get the axe from Punk somehow, or Tony did it to make Punk happy, or Punk asked him. Because now when I think back to that day, I remember telling him, 'Bro, you can't even sit down and just say, hey, let's reset our friendship.' He said, 'Nah, man, he won't even talk to me.' But anyway, I was happy to see him back because obviously he was the victim of some sort of chicanery there. Politics. He looked good. Jericho did a great job and made him look good. Jericho does a good job making people look good. When it comes to how much money WWE has made from their Saudi Arabia shows, WrestleNomics noted that through 8 events in Saudi Arabia, WWE has nearly made twice as much revenue as they've generated from every WrestleMania ticket ever. In 8 events in Saudi, WWE have made $400 million, in contrast to $250 million over 38 WrestleManias. With many wondering when Sasha Banks will return to WWE, she previously teased a huge upcoming date as she and Naomi pulled out of a non-WWE affiliated event set for November 12th. In the meantime, training footage has come out of Banks, with it looking like she is preparing for a pro wrestling comeback. With Adam Cole last competing in a fatal 4-way match for the IWGP World title at AEW Forbidden Door despite being injured, he would suffer a concussion during the bout and has not been back in action since. Talking about a possible return for him, Brian Alvarez said on Wrestling Observer Radio, "I've heard nothing as of late about Adam Cole. Previously, it was said by Meltzer that the concussion was very bad and that he may never be cleared to compete again." Suffering an injury during his match on NXT against Grayson Waller, it seems R-Truth could be out for a while, as Ringside News reported. R-Truth announced on social media today that he tore his quad tendon and is going in for surgery today. Recovery time for that particular injury is around 6 months. That would put him out until at least April, depending on recovery. And this is your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.